In medieval Europe, lice were far from being seen merely as pests. They carried symbolic and even spiritual connotations in certain religious communities. Monks and nuns, particularly in Christian monasteries, often viewed lice as a test of their humility and devotion. Rejecting bodily vanity and embracing physical discomfort were seen as acts of piety and asceticism, reflecting a focus on the soul rather than the flesh. In some instances, lice were even poetically referred to as pearls of God, emphasizing the belief that enduring such discomfort could bring spiritual rewards. This attitude was particularly prevalent in regions with strong monastic traditions, such as France, Italy, and parts of the Holy Roman Empire, including modern-day Germany and Austria. Monastic orders, inspired by the ideals of poverty and self-sacrifice, sometimes embraced lice as symbols of their renunciation of worldly comforts. The acceptance of lice also reflected the broader medieval understanding of hygiene and disease. At the time, personal cleanliness was not prioritized to the same extent as it is today, partly due to the lack of knowledge about germs, and partly because extreme cleanliness was sometimes associated with vanity. In some communities, particularly in rural and less affluent areas, lice were so common that they were normalized as a part of daily life, transcending any specific religious context. However, in the monasteries, this normalization took on a spiritual dimension, transforming lice into a marker of faith and humility. This practice was not universal across Europe, as attitudes toward lice varied by region and social class. While some viewed lice with religious reverence, others associated them with poverty and uncleanliness, particularly among the urban elite and wealthier classes. The perception of lice as pets in this symbolic sense gradually faded as hygiene standards improved, and the understanding of disease transmission advanced in the centuries that followed. In ancient Egypt, a fascinating and somewhat bizarre remedy for toothaches was the use of a dead mouse, sometimes mashed into a paste, as a form of treatment. This strange practice was rooted in the Egyptians' deep connection with the spiritual and mystical properties they attributed to various animals, plants, and substances. The ancient Egyptians believed that animals, including mice, possessed intrinsic qualities that could impact the human body and soul. In the case of a toothache, they thought that placing a dead mouse directly on the painful area would draw out the infection or pain, harnessing the mouse's essence to heal the afflicted tooth. The application of such a remedy reflects how ancient Egyptians often blended natural elements with their spiritual practices, merging the physical and metaphysical worlds in their understanding of health and medicine. While this treatment may seem odd to modern sensibilities, it showcases the ingenuity and mystical beliefs that guided everyday life and healthcare in one of history's most advanced civilizations. Hair washing with cow urine is an unconventional yet historically significant practice rooted in Indian Ayurveda, an ancient system of medicine that emphasizes natural remedies and holistic well-being. In Ayurveda, cow urine, known as gomutra, is considered a sacred and medicinal substance with potent healing properties. It was traditionally believed to be a remedy for various scalp and hair-related issues, owing to its natural antiseptic, antifungal, and antibacterial qualities. Advocates of this practice believe that gomutra could cleanse the scalp, promote healthy hair growth, and address common problems like dandruff, itchiness, and infections. The use of cow urine for hair care was also tied to its alkaline nature, which was thought to balance the scalp's pH levels while strengthening the roots. Enzymes, minerals, and nutrients present in cow urine were believed to nourish the scalp, rejuvenate hair follicles, and improve the overall texture and shine of the hair. In certain regions of India, this remedy was combined with herbal powders, oils, or decoctions to enhance its efficacy and mask its distinctive odor. While the practice might seem unusual to modern audiences, it reflects a broader Ayurvedic principle of utilizing naturally available substances to restore balance and harmony in the body. Today, this practice is rare and viewed with skepticism by many due to cultural shifts, advancements in modern hair care, and concerns about hygiene. However, it remains a point of interest for those exploring traditional remedies and the holistic approaches of Ayurveda. In the Middle Ages, hygiene practices often relied on creativity and the practical use of everyday materials, leading to some unusual yet resourceful methods. One such method involved using stale bread as a tool for wiping away sweat and body oils. Hardened bread, with its rough texture and sponge-like quality, was believed to have excellent absorbing properties, making it a surprisingly effective way to clean the skin. In an era when regular bathing was rare due to limited access to water, cultural taboos, or even health concerns, people turned to innovative solutions to maintain personal cleanliness. Bread, a staple food item that was readily available in most households, became a natural choice for such purposes. Rather than waste stale or hardened loaves, they were repurposed to absorb impurities from the body, offering a practical and sustainable alternative to other methods of hygiene. The practice of wiping sweat with bread was not only practical, but also reflected a deep-seated resourcefulness characteristic of medieval life. In a time when nothing went to waste, even food past its prime could find a secondary use. The coarse texture of stale bread may have also provided a gentle exfoliating effect, helping to remove dirt and dead skin while leaving the user feeling somewhat refreshed. This approach to hygiene demonstrates how people adapted to their circumstances, making use of what was available in creative and functional ways. Bread's dual role as both a source of nourishment and a cleaning tool highlights the fluid boundaries between food and utility in medieval life. In 17th century France, wigs were a symbol of wealth and status, especially among the elite. Wealthy Europeans, including the French aristocracy, sported large powdered wigs, often crafted from human or horsehair. These wigs became an essential part of their fashion, symbolizing their high rank and affluence. However, due to the lack of hygiene practices at the time, these wigs were rarely cleaned and consequently became infested with lice. The lice not only posed discomfort, but were also a social dilemma, as public grooming was considered improper. To manage the issue, a special tool called a lice stick was used, designed to scratch the scalp without disturbing the delicate and intricate wigs. These devices allowed aristocrats to address the discomfort caused by the lice, while preserving the grandeur of their elaborate hairpieces. Despite the challenges presented by lice and hygiene, the wigs continued to represent an important cultural symbol of status and luxury throughout this period. In ancient Rome, tooth cleaning was a practice that might seem unusual by modern standards, but was widely accepted in Roman society. One of the most distinctive methods they employed involved the use of urine, which was believed to possess powerful cleaning properties. Romans were aware of the ammonia content in urine, which is a natural compound with known cleansing abilities. This made urine a popular choice for whitening teeth and freshening breath, as it was readily available and considered effective. People would use it as a rinse or mix it with other substances to create a paste-like substance for brushing their teeth. Although this method may have had some degree of success in whitening teeth due to ammonia's bleaching properties, it likely came with significant downsides. The acidity of urine could irritate the gums and cause discomfort or even damage to the soft tissues in the mouth. Additionally, while urine might have initially masked bad breath, it could have contributed to an unpleasant odor over time due to its strong, pungent smell. As a result, despite its popularity, the practice of using urine for dental care would likely have left users with more issues than benefits in the long run. In the Elizabethan era, beauty standards were vastly different from those we know today, with pale skin being one of the most coveted features, signaling nobility and refinement. Women, particularly of the upper classes, sought to achieve this porcelain-like complexion by using cosmetics laced with lead. The most common product was a white lead-based face paint, known as Venetian ceruse. which was applied thickly to the face, neck, and chest to achieve a ghostly pallor. This fashion trend was not only about aesthetics, it was also a symbol of high social status, as it suggested a life spent indoors, away from the sun's darkening effects. However, the use of lead-based cosmetics came with dire consequences. Over time, the poisonous properties of lead began to take their toll on the users. The prolonged application of these cosmetics led to lead poisoning, which had a devastating impact on the body. Symptoms ranged from hair loss and severe skin discoloration to debilitating mental and physical ailments. In extreme cases, it led to death, particularly as lead accumulated in the body, causing irreversible damage to internal organs. Despite the growing evidence of harm, the desire for pale skin persisted, and many women continued to use these dangerous products, unaware of the deadly consequences. Thus, the pursuit of beauty in the Elizabethan era came at a steep price, one that highlighted the lengths to which society would go for the sake of appearance. In the 18th and 19th centuries, the corset was a symbol of fashion and femininity, often worn tightly to create an exaggerated hourglass shape. However, the tightness of these garments came with severe health consequences. The corset restricted movement, making even the simplest of actions difficult, and it placed tremendous pressure on the body, especially around the waist and ribs. This caused poor circulation and hindered the body's natural ability to function, including proper ventilation and hygiene. Many women found it nearly impossible to clean themselves properly while wearing these garments, leading to a buildup of sweat, bacteria, and oils. The lack of airflow beneath the tightly bound fabric created an ideal environment for skin infections, rashes, and sores to form. Over time, these issues escalated, with some individuals experiencing more serious conditions like gangrene as a result of restricted blood flow. Despite these risks, the corset continued to be a sought-after fashion accessory for centuries, demonstrating the sometimes dangerous consequences of vanity.